song we wrote to welcome you here. Good morning. So glad to see you. Love is in the air. It fills the room. Morning to you. Morning. Life is full of gifts. We are blessed to be here with you. Morning to you. Morning to you. Good morning to you.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Sacramento Center for Spiritual Living, where we believe that we can change our lives by changing our thinking. My heavens. So it's kind of a historic morning for us. I welcome all of you. I welcome those who are joining us on YouTube Live, which is why we have that countdown at the beginning. 10, 9, 8, so that we get on YouTube Live and all works. So we want to thank Doug and everyone who is making all this happen. And, just a little bit of a story. We lost our building in the pandemic. And so many centers around the world, so many churches, so many synagogues, so many places of worship closed down, and many did not open back up. This is a very courageous thing to do, because we're just trusting Spirit's idea of itself as the vision for the center, that we have a vision, and when you have a vision, everything you need is provided, should you have faith. And so that's the emotional part of what today is about, that we signed a 10-year lease, that we got this part of the building, this fellowship hall, ready to sit in here so that we could move out of different areas where we were holding our services, confusing the community completely. Try to find us. Right? Try to find us. So, I just want to thank everyone who has made this particular phase, as we're calling them, possible. And I just want to take a moment to acknowledge, yes, so many of us have donated curtains and sheetrock, and we still have a big wish list on how we're going to do the other room, which is 3 times bigger. And we know it's going to happen, and it's going to be beautiful, and the people are going to come, and we are going to have an offer to our community of a spiritual community center where we can partner with others of like mind, aligned with our teaching, like yoga studios and recovery programs and so on and so on. So be sure to tell your friends, bring your friends. Let's not keep this our best kept secret. Let's share what we have with others. And I do want to acknowledge our special guests, Noelle and Michael, because they were with me in Oakland eons ago. I don't even know if you recognize me.
Yes.
I'm so grateful you're here, and everyone is here. And I could go on and on, but we don't have all day, do we? But I do want to acknowledge one special person. Again, I thank all of you, and I know you're going to keep coming here and keep washing floors and keep building the other bathroom and doing everything we have to do here. But a special person has been here day and night, moving us out of our storage unit by himself, climbing on ladders, hanging curtains, scrubbing floors. And one thing about this person is I can ask this person, can you do this? And the one thing my daughter said about this person is he'll never complain. Smile on his face and do it. And so we sometimes recognize special volunteers, and I want to acknowledge the wonder of my life that I got in my marriage to Larry Alberg, a stepson, Craig Kemp. And so I want you to run up here and get your little gift, and I want to get a nice standing ovation for this boy, because he has done...
Oh, how wonderful is that? Yay!
And that reminds me, I don't know if I told you my name. For those of you who may not know, I am Reverend Sharon Dunn-Alberg, and I'm here to love you up and welcome you. And we're going to begin our service with a spiritual mind treatment, an invocation. And we get to relax now. It took a lot to get here, and let's just relax. Let's just be here now. There is one power, one love, one heart. The body of God is all creation, called by many names, Yahweh, the Great Spirit, celebrated everywhere. It is that connects each of us to each other. And that power, that one mind, that one life is good, and it has to be good. Why? Because it is infinite. Therefore, it can't be opposed. It is good. And I know that one life created all of us, created all sentient beings, created all life, and therefore connected us all to each other. How good is that? That one love is my life, and what I know in this one mind is known to all. And so this prayer connecting us to each other not only lifts up everyone in this room, everyone watching, but also our community, our country, the world. What we are doing here is love and light and harmony and peace and joy, and bringing this to the world, a world that works for everyone, one of us at a time. And so I am grateful for the music here today. I'm grateful for the message, for the people. I'm grateful for the food. I am so grateful that each one of us coming here can celebrate together no matter what your tradition is. You don't have to give up anything to come here. We honor all paths. We honor all people. I am so grateful to know this. And please join me as we say together. And so it is.
Amen.
Shalom. Ashe. And now it is my great pleasure to introduce our Vice President of our board, Carol Untesayer.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Good morning to our YouTube family and to our lovely divine manifestation of our center here this morning. It's fabulous to be here and to participate in our blessing for the day. As Reverend Sharon mentioned, I'm the Vice President of our Board of Trustees, and I know we're missing one lovely blessing member, and she is resting comfortably at home. Ruth, our dear president, we couldn't do a lot of things without her. So on behalf of the Board of Trustees and wishing Ruth a speedy recovery, I am here on behalf of our board. And I am very, very honored to be reading this reading this morning. This is an excerpt from the Sermon by the Sea from our founder of our teaching, Ernest Holmes. And I will begin. There is a cosmic power wrapped up in a cosmic consciousness and purposelessness that is equal to the vision which releases it. What I am saying is this: there is a law that backs up the vision, and the law is immutable. Heaven and earth shall pass away. There is a power transcendent beyond our needs, our little wants. Demonstrating a dime is good if one needs it, or healing oneself of a pain is certainly good if one has it. But beyond that, at the real feast at the tabernacle of the Almighty, in the temple of the living God, in the banquet hall of heaven, there is something beyond anything that you and I have touched. Ernest Holmes. Thank you.
Thank you.
And now it is my distinct pleasure to introduce our poet, Doug VanWoerkom. And what I want to say about Doug is that he's a student and teacher of religious science, also known as the science of mind. A student who always remains teachable, and a teacher who lives the principles, especially through his art of rhythmic poetry, principles that are true for all, like love and wisdom and compassion, and above all, service. Doug inspires me most by how he expresses the divine through his soul's desire to share deeply. The intimacy into me see that we all desire. Doug VanWoerkom.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
What a beautiful sight.
Mm-hmm.
So the poem I have for this morning is what I call, I wrote about 2 years ago, I call it my praise poem. And the title is, I give thanks for all that's good in my life, and so it is. Now there is an old form of poetry that comes out of the Middle East called the ghazal, or the gazelle. And I have borrowed, if you will, one of the parts of that poem, which is each stanza can go off in any direction it wants. It doesn't really have to relate to the following or preceding stanza. However, what ties everything together and gives the poem shape is a repeating phrase or word that you'll find at the end of each stanza. And in this one, it's called, which is the title, I give thanks for all that's good in my life, and so it is. So if anyone feels so inclined, that would be a good place to join in, kind of like the chorus of a song. Really adds to the energy in the room. Some old cultures believed that when you woke up in the morning, the first thing you did was sing, or the sun would not rise. How strange that sounds today, but think about it. If we began each day with praise instead of the news, imagine how this could reshape our entire world. So let's all start praising right now by saying out loud, I give thanks for all that's good in my life, and so it is. St. Augustine said, God has many that the church does not, and the church has many that God does not. Friends, it's not in the pews where we need to kneel. When caught in the deep difficulties of life, let's always remember to ask, shall I grow today through suffering or through choice? How we answer that question will affect the rest of our lives. Won't you join with me now and say out loud, I give thanks for all that's good in my life, and so it is. A wise person once told me, being truly spiritual means being fully present with whatever's in front of you, no matter what. I'll say that one again. A wise person once told me, being truly spiritual means being fully present with whatever's in front of you, no matter what. Praise Spirit. When faced with any challenge now, large or small, I am finally learning to ask, shall I see this as a blessing or as a curse? Please don't join me in my crucifixion. Join me in my resurrection. And together let's say, I give thanks for all that's good in my life, and so it is. The poet, Rainer Maria Rilke, said, if we know how a willow tree is shaped underground, we can see it more clearly above. As our understanding grows deeper, we become more clearly that place where inner and outer meet. The cynic sees life in parts and complains. The wise one sees life as whole and praises. Choose a new life now and call out with me, I give thanks for all that's good in my life, and so it is. Robert Bly said in one of his poems, if you want the magical thing hidden from all others, then you shall have to live a life full of exaltation. Just hearing that line spoken out loud makes me want to say, I give thanks for all that's good in my life, and so it is. Last stanza. I believe if everyone pointed their prayer rugs towards heaven, we'd all be facing each other. When we finally choose to stop living in judgment of ourselves and those around us, then the war is over. Friends, perhaps the promise of eternity is this. Once we find the center in everything, we will never be alone again. Friends, perhaps the promise of eternity is this. Once we find the center in everything, we will never be alone again. Now, isn't that enough to make anyone want to say, I give thanks for all that's good in my life, and so it is.
Amen. Woo! Yeah!
Thank you so much. And now I have the honor of introducing our One Love Band. And what I want to say is that there is more to our band And due to recent hospitalization and other things, the band is represented here by our music directors. And so, yes, our band has more beautiful people. Hi, Cookie. Hi, Ruth. And all the guest musicians. But today we have absolutely the perfect duet in our co-ministers of music at this center, our music directors.
Thank you.
And if you would just say a little bit about where you've played and how long you've been playing. And by the way, we have a lead guitar player, and I am really excited about that.
I better do it right. I started out, when I was 18 on the acoustic guitar, and then wanted to play electric in the 80s. So I'm a rocker chick from the 80s. Had an all-girl band, and I've been in all kinds of bands over all these years, and I never stopped because I just absolutely love to play.
And what's your name?
Oh, I'm Sue.
I'm Laura.
It's my partner, Laura, my spouse. And this song, we encourage you to sing along, and it's kind of a little thought twister. It's a very simple song, and when you think about it, I love myself so much, and I think that's probably one of the things we all want to strive for, is to really love yourself, because once you love yourself, and you get rid of the anger and all that, it's so easy to love everyone else. So start with yourself first, and it's, I love myself so much that I can love you so much. And it's I, you. I think by the end of it, you might get the gist.
Recognize that song. Anybody? Oh, I sang so loud. So, how do I talk, or what do I talk about on our first Sunday in the house? So let's just back up a little bit. Our annual theme worldwide is Living Out Loud. Yes. Our theme for the month is Love Out Loud, yes. And today's topic is Love Wins. Love, love, love. But today I'm doing something a little special. And I am arrogantly going to give a sermon on the Sermon by the Sea. Now, what is this Ernest Holmes? Who is this guy? And what is this teaching? And is it Scientology? Religious science? No. Ernest Holmes was a scholar of all Scripture. The Vedas, the Bhagavad Gita, the Bible and all of the great works. He studied them all and then thought, wait a minute, they kind of have some common messages here. I think we're all going to the same place. Why don't I put something together using it all? And so that all of us can relate. We can all come and share our teachings, whether it be the Quran, whether it be the Bhagavad Gita, whether it be our text, The Science of Mind. This is authored by Ernest Holmes. And the last time our group, our congregations, if you will, he actually didn't want a church. He wanted an institute. He wanted a teaching institute. So, he really, and you can see in this, as I bring this to you today, how he didn't want us to separate ourselves by any means by our differences. He wanted us to find possibly where we can connect with one another. And that's what we're about in this center. But we met at Asilomar for years and years and years. Asilomar State Beach is in Pacific Grove, California. And so the last time we met at Asilomar, Ernest Holmes gave a sermon famously now known as the Sermon by the Sea. Funny thing happened to me on the way to this sermon. I had a dream. And I saw our teaching symbol, which is this symbol here, which has a whole meaning if you want to come to our foundations class that we'll be having now that we have a building to have it in. I saw our teaching symbol through a window, and through the teaching symbol, very profound, I saw Asilomar. I saw the beach, I saw the birds, and I told my music director, Laura Linza, about my dream. And guess what she painted for us?
Very nice. Very nice.
And she gave it to us. She's not going to take it home. We're going to be able to keep it here. So I'm really excited about that. So as I open this talk and share with you the basics of what we believe, if you will, it's because it's our first Sunday here, and you may be here for the first time, or you may be hearing this for the first time, and why not go back to basics, but in such a wonderful way to bring the Sermon by the Sea. And it's a very lengthy sermon, so I'm just going to grab some of the highlights. And the three kind of highlights I'm going to grab is simplicity and purity, love and freedom. And so I will open by saying, whatever the question, love is the answer. Yes? Whatever the question, love is the answer. And he gave this sermon in 1959. I was 9 years old. Okay, don't do the math.
I tried.
And so you might hear religious science, you might hear science of mind, but science of mind is our textbook. And what science of mind actually is threefold. It's religion, philosophy, and science put together. And the science we use, as you know, as I often say, is quantum physics, which I love. And what is quantum physics all about? In a nutshell, it is done unto you as you believe. We have the power of mind. And there's a little formula. What you want to have happen in the world has to be good for all, has to be done in love, and you have to believe it. If you have a doubt, there's a formula that cancels out your dream. So we learn here by classes, by all the books that he's written, how to power your life by powering your mind. And this center is a very good example of that. We believed in this, we visioned for it, and it's here. And so I'm going to read a little bit of Ernest in between comments, and I want to start with simplicity and purity as part of his message from the Sermon by the Sea. And he says, Having had the privilege of starting religious science, I would wish, will, and desire above all things that the simplicity and the purity of our teaching could never be violated. We're not making it up. We're not bringing anything else into it. There is a purpose of simplicity, a consciousness of unity, a straight line thinking in our philosophy.
I love that.
Isn't that amazing? And so, yes, he loved Emerson, and he loved, because they all said the same thing. He loved Einstein. He was right there in Venice Beach at the time when quantum physics burst into the scene, when they discovered the electron microscope. And they saw that things were going on that we didn't see before. And we continue to know that. So simple, direct, meaningful, and feelingful is the word he used. Don't you love that? Feelingful. This is a feeling teaching. This isn't a heady teaching, is it? This is not. When I talk about spiritual principles, everything is based on that in our teaching. And spiritual principles, what does that mean, right? It means what is true for all. So if it's not true for all, it's not a spiritual principle. Love, light, harmony, peace, joy. And spiritual principle, as I say, means nothing unless we experience it. Unless we experience it together as well. So we experience it in our own life and we experience it together. We bring it to the world. That's when we behave our best. And we inherit this from the teaching. And he goes on to say, and I would desire that in our teaching there should never be any arrogance. For it has always indicated spiritual immaturity to me. I loved finding that piece in the sermon because we talk about spiritual immaturity. And I thought we made that up. Or someone did. Oh, Ernest did. Others will arise who will know more than we do. They won't be better or worse. They will be different and know more than we do. We're talking simplicity and purity and no arrogance. We don't have anything special here, yada, that you don't have in your teaching. We don't have that. We like to come on, share your religious upbringing. Come and bring a Seder, bring Happy Rosh Hashanah. We want to celebrate everyone. Evolution, he claims, and always has, it is moving forward. He always said, open at the top, meaning there's always more. And this part, I believe, is a little bit of science flavor, complete directness, a freedom from fear and superstition about the unknown and about God. And we have direct contact with it. This is what, we aren't hoping that a punishing God is going to bring its wrath on us because we misbehave. We're going to misbehave. And according to quantum physics, we are at choice because we have the uncertainty principle that gives us free will. So we can create havoc and misery. Yahoo! Love that. So whether we call it the Christ in us or the Buddha or Atman or just God, the living spirit, makes no difference. Don't you love that? No, come to our spiritual community center and bring your love. You and I are witness to the divine fact, and we have discovered an authority beyond our minds. Just like you read, Carol. Even though our minds utilize it. So from the one mind that connects us all to each other, we call it consciousness. We call it that thing that happens beyond time and space. Right? Remember, we collapse from potential into form, into particle. He was also a poet. He was a magical writer. And I love this. Find me one person who is for something and against nothing, who is redeemed enough not to condemn others out of the burden of their soul, and I will find another exalted human being. Now, I am that exalted human being every once in a while. We don't have to be perfect in that, do we? We are always a choice. We can always return to truth. And are we going to make mistakes? Are we going to get judgy? I mean, not me, but you might. Find me one person, he says, who no longer has any fear of the universe or of God, whatever you call it, or of humanity, or anything else. And you will have brought to me someone in whose presence we may sit, and fear shall vanish as clouds before the sunlight. Really? It is so beautiful. And last, find me someone who has given all that they have in love, without morbidity, without suffering.
Yeah.
Okay? And I will have found the lover of my soul. Is not this true? Why? Because they will have revealed to me the nature of God and proved to me the possibility of all human souls. This is why we come here every week, to remember the possibility of our soul, which is perfect, complete, and whole. Each one of us has that in us that connects us to each other, that is perfect, complete, and whole, right here and right now, that has never been injured, never been harmed. And we grow that into our reality. We live that place as best we can. And so love, the second idea of what I gleaned from this sermon by the sea, is what religious science stands for, he says. Okay. It is not a new dogmatism. In other words, we don't have dogma, which we love because we don't like rules at all. In fact, if you give a religious scientist a rule, we're going to say, I'm going to go somewhere else, right? And it's not a new authority generated from a new alleged revelation of the God. It wasn't an angel did not come and reveal the text, or it's just Ernest Holmes picking out the best of it all for us. Isn't that amazing? This is what the great and good and wise and just have known intuitively. We know all of this intuitively. And again, he says, find me one person who can get their own littleness out of the way, and they shall reveal to me the immeasurable magnitude of the universe in which I live.
Love that.
Find me one person who knows how to talk to God, or Spirit, or the infinite life, or the one mind. Really, and I shall walk with them through the woods, and everything that seems inanimate will respond. The leaves of the trees will clap their hands. The grass will grow softer under them. Yes, please. Yes, please. Yes, please. I'll have what he's having. And last, what I gleaned is freedom. And why? Because he says, find me one person who communes with cause and effect. Now, what does that mean? Communes with cause and effect. Remember, cause and effect refers to the idea that an action causes a reaction. Yes?
Yes.
We know we can cause something to happen with our words or actions.
Yep.
It is important that we realize we can influence our environment and each other. We're influencers. Yay. Find me one person who communes with cause and effect. In other words, takes responsibility for our actions, yes? And in the evening star will sing to them, and the darkness will turn to light. Can you imagine living with him? And be like, talk to me, Ernest. Not focusing on effects causes me to be free from loneliness forever. That's science. Not focusing. Remember, what we give attention to expands. We collapse into form that which we give attention to. That if we're dwelling on our troubles, what do we collapse into? More reality for ourselves? More troubles. Yes, please. No, thank you. Find me somebody who has detached emotional and psychological ego from the real self. Of course, without having to deny the place it plays in the scheme of things. In other words, we don't deny our humanness. We don't deny where we fall or where we're frail or we get caught up in, right? Right? Because transcendence is there also. And I will have discovered the ineffable in this individual and a direct pathway for the communion of my own soul. I will commune with you. You will uplift me. You will remind me, oh gosh, you know, I have a prayer partner. Every week, I get on my prayer partner call with my prayer partner, and I went, oh my gosh, I forgot. So I have our prayer partner midweek, so I can forget from Sunday to midweek to Sunday. And I'm a minister, and you pay me. And I love how you love me. And you let me keep coming back. And we share our teaching, and we grow together. And I love how you forgive me.
Oh.
And how we forgive each other. Because we can always get up and go again. Here's the big point here. Are you ready? You are religious science. I am not. I'm only the one who puts something together.
Yes.
I do not even take myself seriously. But I take what I am doing seriously. You are religious science. Our ministers, our teachers, our practitioners, our lay people. You find me 1,000 people in the world who know what religious science is and use it and live it as it is, and I'll find myself I'll myself live to see a new world.
Absolutely.
A new heaven, a new earth here. Find 1,000 people who know that and use it, and the world will no longer be famished. There's never been a cosmic famine. Ernest Holmes. How important it is that each one of us, in our own simple way, shall live from God to God, with God, in God, and to each other. Say it in your own understanding. How important is it in each of us, in each our own way, that we live from spirit to spirit, with spirit, in spirit, and to each other. And last, that is why we are here. And this is why I chose the Sermon by the Sea. Because I want to remind all of us, why are we here? And we are taking back with us, I trust, a vision and an inspiration, something beyond a hope and a longing. And the living Spirit shall through us walk anew into its own creation, and a new glory come with a new dawn. Let us pray. Oh, my goodness. There is one power, one presence, called by many names. Called today by love wins. Love is the answer. Love is the principle that will bring this world into its own light. It's already there. There is nothing new to learn here. There's one power, one presence. We call by many names. Call it. It always answers. And it is within each of us, connecting us to each other. Therefore, there's nothing we can't do together. We are influencers. We bring people into this place, this sacred place, to commune with cause and effect, to learn how to increase the frequency and vibration of our humanness, so that we bring food to the hungry, shelter to the unhomed, that we see and take care of our brothers and sisters, that we don't live in this little, this is me and only me world. Right now, this teaching is absolutely perfect for all politicians, for all world leaders, for all of us to hold, because our minds and our hearts and our bodies influence the one mind, the one heart, and the one body of spirit. I can influence the President of the United States. That's a concept. And I intend to. And I intend to be influenced by love and friendship here in this community. And I intend to hold myself and others accountable to the law of the land, to the Constitution that will be the only thing that preserves us in democracy, to our ministers and our practitioners' code of ethics, to our bylaws, and to our teaching. Nothing more and nothing less. I am here standing before you in love, knowing for each of us that love is the name of our life, it is the name of our purpose, and it is the name of our reason for being. And I am so grateful to release this word into the law with such gratitude, knowing that my word is powerful because it is filled with conviction. It is given in love, and there's no doubt in my mind. And please join me as we affirm by saying, and so it is. Ashe. Amen. Shalom. And now we have our music. Woo-hoo.
Thank you, Reverend Sharon. That was awesome. I have a lot of gratitude for Reverend Sharon and this community because I feel my connection to the one through music. And just as much as I love playing with others who are musicians and all styles and all kinds of music. So if you keep coming, you'll see other artists. And when we have our two ladies, we do 4-part harmonies. It's very beautiful. And I envision, my vision, and Sharon has given me freedom, to have drum circles, to eventually have a choir. I will have a full band someday when we're in there on a stage. And Larry's going to make beautiful visuals and lighting, and it's just going to get better and better and better. So when you come here, you can feel your artistry. And whatever makes your heart sing, share it if you so want to. And I'll work with you. If you sing, you play an instrument, come on up. I want to hear from everybody. So, and if you know musicians, we always like to feature artists. Let us know. Or if you want to sing in the choir. Okay. So. This is dedicated to Reverend Sharon. Your love has lifted me high. Don't make me cry. And I've ever been lifted before. So keep it up, quench my desire. I'll be at your side forevermore. Your love keeps lifting me. Your love keeps lifting me. Your love keeps lifting me higher. Come on, join in with us. Your love keeps lifting me. Your love keeps lifting me. Your love keeps lifting me higher and faster. Your love keeps lifting me. Your love keeps lifting me. Your love keeps lifting me higher, higher. Higher, higher. Your love keeps lifting me. Your love keeps lifting me higher. Your love keeps lifting me. Your love keeps lifting me. Your love keeps lifting me higher, higher. Your love keeps lifting me. Your love keeps lifting me. Your love keeps lifting me higher, higher. Your love keeps lifting me. Your love keeps lifting me. Okay, now I can cry.
love keeps lifting me higher.
Oh my God.
You have a lot of nice, I hear a lot of beautiful voices, so come on, sign up.
There was a little Rita Coolidge in there.
Yeah.
And so it is our offering time. And what are we offering? We are offering you an opportunity to give. I believe the basket is over in the front row here. And when you have your gift in your hand, I want you to repeat after me. Ready?
Yeah.
In a consciousness of abundance.
In a consciousness of abundance,
I give freely,
I give freely,
knowing
knowing
that I am freely
that I am freely
given to.
given to.
Ashe. And while we are passing the basket, we are going to talk about our announcements, and they're very short, so don't worry today. One thing I want to direct you to is our amazing website. And I'm going to say it, SCSL.org. SACCSL.org, because our website is amazing. And it is going to share with you what we believe. It's going to share with you the events coming up. And it's going to share with you what we're about, who we are, all that you would want to know. And the most important thing is that that's where you can put your prayer requests in. We literally have a page for prayer requests, and we take those prayers, and our ecclesiastic team prays for a whole week. And if you know the power of mind, then you know the power of prayer. And so please put your prayer requests in and check our website out. So I am going to do a benediction, and I again give thanks for everybody here today. Next week we will be having our house blessing. We wanted to wait till the president was able to be here, and we have other people that are not able to be here today that are going to be here and participating in our house. We got to bless the house, right? We got to bless the house. So we're going to have a great program, lots of music, a blessing that you're all can or will participate in. So be sure to come next Sunday, 10:30, and we'll have a wonderful program for you. And so let's just remember again that power and that presence is within you. Don't go looking for it. It's within you. And it connects you to everyone. When you see people on the street, look into their eyes and know, wow, we are one. Doesn't matter what it looks like, what color it is, how it identifies, none of it matters. How tall, how short, how rich, how poor. It doesn't matter. Because the truth of who we are is spirit within each one of us, connecting us to each other, making a world that works for everyone. And so it is.
And so it
And
is.
stay tuned for our closing
Amen.
song, and be sure to join us with fellowship. We've got goodies. Thank you for everyone who brought food, and eventually we're going to have electricity. And so we would have things like tea and coffee and
We have coffee.
and a micro. And thank you for Patricia for going out and bringing coffee. And we're going to have lots of wonderful upgrades as we go along. Take it out. Oops.
Some people come for the music, they come for the message, they come because they want to be connected. They come for the people, they come for the song, they come because they want to belong.